February sucks for a lot of people. Can you guess why? It comes at the tail end of a long slog through the holidays stretching all the way back to October. If your team made it to the Super Bowl, there's a good chance they're going to lose. And some of us still have cold, dark, snowy days that are really starting to wear out their welcome. But there's one day in particular that really pushes people over the edge: Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is a divisive day for many people, which really isn't that surprising, but why is that? While most see Valentine's Day as a fun, romantic celebration of their affection for their loved one, some find the expectations to be somewhat overblown and stressful to meet. Others see it as a fake holiday, a concoction of consumerism with the sole purpose of selling more candy, cards, and just more junk. And yet still, others absolutely dread the day, forced to sulk in a stew of painful memories, loneliness, and regret. People don't always celebrate Valentine's Day the same either. Looking at some recent data, did you know that about 55% of people will celebrate Valentine's Day with a romantic partner, with the remaining 45% celebrating with family, friends, or in some other way? So yeah, depending on your personal experience, Valentine's Day can be a divisive holiday. But I want to share a different take. On this channel, I tend to be a bit of an optimist, looking to find the good and opportunity in just about any situation. And despite some of the issues I just mentioned, I actually see Valentine's Day as a great opportunity for everyone, regardless of your own personal perspective on it or your relationship status. That's because I see Valentine's Day as a unifying reminder for all of us to reflect upon ourselves and determine where we can do better as a person. But why is this even worth doing? I think there's actually two good reasons why we should seek personal development here. To start, one of the most important things we can do as humans is aim for a fulfilled life, to constantly be learning, growing, and improving. If you see society as being enriched by all of us making our own contributions, whether you're a doctor, teacher, father, mother, friend, or neighbor, then you can see that for those contributions to be as impactful as they can be, it requires us to be the best versions of ourselves. To cite Abraham Maslow, the guy behind the famous Maslow's hierarchy of needs, what man can be, he must be. On a smaller, more personal level though, and as it pertains to Valentine's Day specifically, there are real benefits to doing this kind of self-evaluation to be a better partner in your relationship. Or if you're not currently in a relationship, there's really no downside to doing a quick gut check and making sure that you're not only making your best impression when you meet someone new, but that you also have what it takes to maintain that relationship for the long term. And even if you aren't looking for a partner, a lot of this still applies too. Let's look at the relationship makeup of the US. Taking a quick look at some data, a little over half of adults are in a relationship, either married or cohabitating. If you're in a relationship, I think it's important to keep in mind that a lasting relationship is built on a strong foundation. But what is a strong foundation in this context? Well, it usually means that both partners bring some kind of value to the relationship, and both are committed to maintaining the relationship through both compromises and good faith efforts. What got you into the relationship might not necessarily sustain that relationship long term. I mean, just take a peek at the lifetime divorce rate and check out some of the reasons why people get divorced. It definitely takes more than just love at first sight and a romantic honeymoon to keep the bond between two people strong. Not even the sacred ritual of marriage, a ceremony that's meant to solidify the bond of love between two people, can fully protect against the corrosive nature of stagnation and incompatibility. So the main point here is that if you're currently in a relationship, do both yourself and your partner a favor. Don't get complacent. Be proactive in self-reflection, and try to understand where you could be a better partner to increase the chances of having a long-lasting relationship. Now, maybe you're in a rocky relationship, and you already have a long list of complaints to go off of. Complaints either about your partner, or maybe complaints your partner's made about you. But have you taken some time to really think about what the issue is here, to get at the root cause? A common, simple framework for getting at the root cause of a problem comes from the Toyota production system, and it's based on asking the question why 5 times. Let's look at an example. Let's take an example where maybe you're late to work. Let's start asking the question why. Why were you late to work? Well, my tire blew. Why did your tire blow? Well, because it was low on tread. Why was your tire low on tread? Well, because I didn't get around to getting it replaced. Why didn't you get it replaced? I just forgot about it. Well, why'd you forget about it? Well, because I never wrote it down. So a solution you might arrive on is writing to-dos down immediately, with the hope that by writing it down, you'll remember it, get it done, and won't be late to work. Now, that's just a basic example, but applying the same framework to your personal relationship and a little effort could find a simple solution that could clear up 90% of the issues in your relationship. Also, to my earlier point, keep in mind that a strong relationship takes refinement and growth from both parties. So even if you feel that you're not the root cause of the friction, there still might be some benefit from doing a self-evaluation and thinking about the things that you might want to work on. Again, you might find simple, easy shifts that you can make that drastically improves the relationship as a whole. Now, so far we've been discussing the group of people who are in a relationship, but what if you're single? Some studies report that out of the population of US adults who are single, about 42% are actually looking for a partner, with the remaining majority of single people not interested in finding a partner. Regardless of which of these two buckets you find yourself in, I think a lot of these same points apply. Again, my core argument here is that each of us should strive to be a better version of ourselves. But this can be especially true when you're actually trying to find a partner. Think about what we're attracted to in a person. Maybe they're funny or kind, or maybe they have some kind of cool skill like playing classical music on the piano. Maybe they can cook or have a calm disposition, capable of navigating stressful situations and conversations. Maybe they're in good physical shape and are well groomed. Likewise, what do we think someone would be attracted to in us? Are we kind? Funny? Can we handle criticism in a constructive way? Are we in good physical shape, good mental shape? Can we approach someone new and spark up an interesting conversation in a natural way? These are the kinds of things that we should think about, not only for establishing a relationship, but for maintaining it for the long haul as well. Remember, stagnation internally will undoubtedly lead to stagnation externally, and this is valuable whether you're in a relationship or not. To quote one of my favorite thinkers, Andy Grove, success breeds complacency. Complacency breeds failure. Only the paranoid survive. Now, I don't want this all to seem too preachy or one size fits all. I know life is complex, but I still want to try to instill just a spark of motivation to nudge us forward to a better version of ourselves. Not just for our partners or potential partners, but for us as well. And the actual next steps to take here are pretty lightweight and can be fun. First, just get a sense of what some things to focus on could be. Again, looking at some quick data, some surveys reported that a few of the top relationship goals back in 2024 were things like be positive to one another, improve communication, spend more time together, say I love you more. These seem reasonable and relatively low effort compared to bigger, more drastic changes that you could make. In another survey, people reported wishing their partner would be less grumpy, more affectionate, listen more, be happier, show more appreciation. And for those who are looking for a partner, some of the reported traits that people tend to look for are being kind and honest, appearing confident, their physical appearance. Now, these are of course just starting places, but take some time to do a quick, honest self-assessment. Are you a clean person? What are you not confident about? Are you clear and honest about your feelings? Do you know how to strike the right tone when having a difficult conversation? Are you passionate about anything? Do you see yourself as having a larger life goal? If you want a more structured set of questions to go through, I'll link a simple 10-question self-assessment guide in the description. Or honestly, you can just have a chat with your AI tool of choice. Also, a few books I'd recommend checking out. On Managing Yourself. This is sort of great for organizing your life at a high level to sort of get what you want out of it. Atomic Habits, because honestly, what am I not going to recommend this book? It just does a great job of breaking down high-level intentions into small daily actions that you can take to improve yourself for the better. It's a constant top seller for a reason. On Emotional Intelligence. Now, this isn't relationship advice per se, but it has a lot of really great ideas and tips that have a lot of carryover into being a good person or partner in general. Secure Love. While it leans a little bit more towards couples, I think it strikes a good balance of being both holistic and practical, and it does a good job of highlighting some concrete steps to take for a healthy relationship with people in general. And again, I'll include links to all these in the description as well. Now, you might already be ahead on all this and have already integrated some of these aspirations into your New Year's resolutions for the year. Which, by the way, how are those going? Another reason February sucks is that about 80% of people give up on their New Year's resolutions by February. If this feels eerily familiar, I made a video about how to set these properly and integrate them into your routine so that you have a higher chance of sticking to them throughout the year, which I'll link here. It also works if you haven't really set up any goals for the year at all. And no, it's not too late to set goals for the year. As long as there's any year left at all, you can set goals to achieve. The main point here is that February can be a stressful time for all of us. especially when it comes to Valentine's Day. And while Valentine's Day is typically a time to focus externally on others, I want to encourage you to also see it as an opportunity to look internally at your own housekeeping and see where you might be able to strengthen your mind, body, and spirit. Try exploring the guide in the description and getting a baseline on where you're at and where you might want to think about improving. A little effort applied consistently can lead to big changes, but it all starts with your mindset.